Okay, so we'll just take a short moment here where we close our eyes. Just making sure you're comfortable. Crown is reaching up to the sky. Shoulders are relaxed. Seat is heavy, rooted. Eyes are closed. You start to watch your breath. Just watching at your belly, watching your belly rise and fall. And as your mind wanders, just bring it back. Just focus on your belly rising and falling. And then placing your focus now on the top of your nose. Just watching your breath coming in and out through your nostrils. And then as you sit here, just ask yourself why it is that you are here. Why would you come spend your Friday afternoon 1 hour or 2 here. What is it that you are hoping to achieve? And you can slowly come back. Hi. Great. Do you wanna hand them out so we can eat them while we listen?
Sure. Hope they made it through the bag. Can I just make an announcement that might be of interest to people?
Yeah.
There, right now in Tibet, I think it's called Larangar, the great Tibetan monastery where many thousands of people live. The Chinese government is destroying it, so making a lot of nuns and monks homeless and destroying this incredible edifice. Anyways, there's the local Tibetan community is having a vigil next Wednesday from 6 to 8 at the art gallery. So just in case you're interested.
What are they doing there?
They're having a vigil to protest against
Oh, okay.
or to draw attention
Yeah.
to the issue.
Oh, that's good. At the art gallery.
Yes.
Keep them in the freezer.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Hi. No, it's okay. We usually start a little bit late anyways. It's fine. It's wonderful.
Are we supposed to bring an offering?
No, it's just for fun.
No, it's to honor our teacher. That's part of what we learned last week.
Okay.
We're offering you, George. You'll be the sacrifice.
We learned about how to be a good student. The qualities of a good student.
Yes, let's talk about what we've talked about last week. So people who weren't here can be told what we talked about. What do you remember from last week? Qualities of a good student.
Open-minded.
Yes. Yes. So there were 3 qualities of a good student. The week before that, we were talking about what should you look for in a teacher, and then last week was about, so okay, now you've got your teacher, but what should you be like as a student? So one of the qualities was, yeah, you got to be open-minded. If you come into a class, or if you have asked someone to be your teacher, and you have everything closed off, and you think you already know, then what's the point, right? Why would you? It's wasting everyone's time. So can you be open-minded? And it's okay if certain ideas don't resonate yet, if you don't understand things, or if things, I don't know, trigger whatever kind of emotion, that's okay. We can always shelf things that we are not ready to understand. But the main idea is that, yeah, be open to what the teacher is trying to teach you. We gave the example of a cup, right? Do you remember that?
It can't be already full, otherwise there's nowhere for the teachers to go.
Yeah. So come with an empty cup, as an empty cup, because if your cup is already full, how can the teacher pour anything?
No closed pots, no dirty pots, and no leaky pots.
Right. What does that mean? What does it mean? The closed pot we just said. Yeah, you have to be open-minded. What's the other two?
The leaky pot,
Yeah,
I guess it's you're not retaining.
you're not retaining. Yeah.
You're just letting it.
Yeah, so it's nice to come to a class and all, but if after you step out of here you just forget everything, then again, you're wasting your time. Go do something else, right? Try to take with you what you are learning, and then can you apply it in your daily life. And the other one?
It's a dirty pot.
A dirty pot. What does that mean?
I would say would assume being negative in your practices.
Yeah. Like, what's your motivation, right? You're coming for a wrong motivation to a class. Yeah, I have a friend who, when I tell this friend I'm doing this or that, then she feels like she has to do it also. Not because she feels she should, but it's more like a competitive thing or something. You're going to gym. Oh, I should go to the gym too, Like, that would be a wrong motivation, right? I mean, eventually it could do you good to go do these things, but why are you going to compete, to keep up with your friend? That's, that would maybe be like a dirty pot. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I obviously don't know what they're thinking, but
No pure intention.
yeah, check what's your intention, right? Why are you coming? What do you want out of it? And it can be mixed, right? You can have both. You can feel like you really want to come and at the same time have competition feelings with the other students that are there, who gets the most attention of the teacher or whatever, right? I mean, all sorts of stuff can come up. That's okay. That actually will happen as you practice. Yeah. Okay. Qualities of the student. What else did we talk about?
Other qualities of a good student.
The other ones,
Oh,
yes.
The other ones, yeah.
What were the other ones? So we had open-minded. Then we had,
Intelligent.
yeah, intelligent. So you got to be intelligent. And this is not intelligence like I need to be good at math. I need to, know stuff like that. No, it's like being intelligent in the sense of being able to apply the ideas, using logic and being able to apply. Yeah. What else what was the third one?
Aspiring.
Yeah.
Goal of higher learning, higher
Willing
Yeah.
to do the practice.
High aspirations in this life. Hardworking, wanting to put in the work. Yeah. Basically, yeah, you want to become a Buddha, right? You want to become truly happy. You want to be able to help other beings. And yeah, that's going to take some work. So you have to be willing to do that. Okay. Then we also, I'm trying to find the notes from last week. I can't find them.
I'd see it on my
qualities
homework
of the
when I step
teachings.
in on my
Okay, I got
homework.
some.
It has the
Yeah, the teachings. Okay. So we need to know that what we're studying is authentic, right? So we were talking about, we want to be studying words that were spoken by Lord Buddha. And his teachings are all collected. These teachings are called the Kangir. And then we have the Tangir, which is what? The commentaries, yeah, the commentaries on that. So what happens in time is like the telephone game, when you tell things to many people, stuff changes a little bit in the story. So this is why we need to have those wise people with deep realizations, that can clean out all the corruptions out of those teachings. So they torn them apart, they analyzed them, they cleaned the corruptions, and And then the third thing of that was that the teaching should produce what? Realizations. Yeah. Because you can spend 1,000 years studying something, but if it's not an authentic Dharma, nothing will happen. Which can be caused by two things. One is the teachings are not authentic, and the second reason would be you've not been practicing. Okay. So that was the Dharma. Okay. So today we'll talk about what is samsara and renunciation. Pretty heavy topic.
Samsara and renunciation.
Yeah. So the very first class, we'll just repeat this for Georgina, well, for everyone. This course is the foundation course. There's 18 courses total. So this first course is kind of an overview course, has all the ideas of Buddhism, and then all the other courses kind of fill in more puzzle pieces as we go. So in the very first class, we learned one of the most important ideas of Buddhism, which are what? The 3 steps.
Renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom.
Yeah. So those, if you can maybe very briefly describe what those mean, Turnjit, then we're getting more into that today also.
So renunciation is where you're sick of your life and you realize that nothing I'm doing is working and it's not giving me ultimate happiness or bliss. So it's just making my samsara better. So come to that realization that this isn't enough. My interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Bodhicitta is I want out of this existence, but I want to help other people out of it as well. So having that love for your fellow humankind to help them as well as help yourself. And right view is everything I think, say, and do has an impact, leads to my karma, and my karma is going to take me to the realization of emptiness, and everything is a projection of my karma. Eventually, my karma is good, and I work on that with virtue and right thinking. Eventually, I'll reach enlightenment.
I think she's halfway there. That's great.
That's the course.
There we go. We can all go home now. Yes. So we need renunciation is really the first step. If we don't have renunciation, we cannot get bodhicitta. Because if we are not sick and tired of suffering ourselves, how can we care about other people going through the same thing, right? So we need renunciation first. We need to come to the understanding that everything is suffering. And that can be tricky because a lot of things don't really feel like suffering, right? We have really good days. We have really crappy ones too. But the good days, certainly, why do you want to get out of that? And the reason would be is that because they turn into crappy days, they don't last. Good feelings don't last. They always end. They either end or they turn into something crappy. You know, everything. Everything. You drink a really nice cup of tea, it's not gonna last, you know. If I have the good virtue, it will taste good, but it's not gonna last, you know. Nothing lasts. It will end, or it will turn to shit. That's just how it is. And you know that is true. And if you don't, you should think about it, you know. Think about it. And, you know, it's highs and lows, so you get tired of the highs and lows. You want off of that roller coaster. And then, you know, it might be easier for those that are really suffering, like every day intensely, to have that desire. Or maybe it is not easier for them, maybe it's harder because they're so low, and then it might be hard to do anything. Maybe it's better to suffer a little bit on some days to find that motivation to get yourself out. So, samsara, we'll talk about that first, what samsara is. So in samsara, I didn't write it down, but samsara is in Tibetan, samsara must be a Sanskrit word. In Tibetan it's korwa. And kor means round. And most all Tibetan words that have kor in it mean something like something round, like a wheel or a coin, or you know, something like that. Kormo is a round coin. Korlo is a wheel of a car. Okay, so it means circle, cycle, circle. So how we could explain it maybe is if Turnjit calls me a very bad name right now, my initial reaction would be something mean back, okay? Which then, that's when I have created that circle, right? If she says, I don't know, I don't want to give an example. I don't know. What would you say? Something mean to me. Say something mean.
You can do it.
Anything.
I don't want to say that.
Okay, don't then. That's okay. Just imagine Turnjit saying something mean. That's pretty
You can
hard.
say something mean to somebody else.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, okay, she says something mean to me, immediately something inside of me goes, what, talking to me? Well, bitch, you know, I don't know, it's something like that, right? So my gut reaction is saying something back to you. So then what happens is, okay, now I've just created my samsara, because by responding the way in kind, now this is all going to happen again, okay? because of what we've learned about karma, right? Everything we say or do will create a similar result, okay? So if Turnjit says something mean to me and I don't respond to her, then it's not a cycle anymore, okay? I like the visual of having a bike wheel with all the spokes, and I just put a stick in it. You know, I stop it like that instead of making it go around and around. So, yeah.
So, does that only happen if you don't acknowledge what's said, or does it also happen if you bring compassion to them and say, well, they must be having a bad day?
Well, there's all sorts of little things going on, okay? Every finger snap has 65 imprints that we are making in our mind, okay? So there's a lot of karmas going up. When she says something mean to me, it's a whole lot of stuff going on, okay? And then how I'm going to respond could be a million different ways. Maybe I don't feel any anger. I'm not going to respond to her. Maybe I do feel anger, but I'm not responding. That's a different kind of thing, right? If I do feel it, but I'm not acting on it. Maybe if I don't feel anything and I don't act on it would be different too. Or if I do feel it and I do act on it. So there's all these different grades or different, different levels of how strong the karma, the imprints of this situation could be. It would be definitely very powerful if I feel anger, but I stop myself and I'm not going to lash out back, even though I would really like to, but I'm not doing it, right? This is powerful because I'm fighting my mind. I'm fighting that ego. I'm killing it, actually, by doing that. And then as you do so, then maybe the next time when Turnjit says something mean or someone else says something mean, I don't even feel that anger anymore because the last time I didn't respond with it. Right? So that's kind of sort of how it works. But we do it all day long with everything. We keep cycling, through everything in our days, not just the bigger situation that make a very deep impact, like someone yelling at you, but all the little things, we keep cycling. And
so in a practical sense, let's say I do feel strongly about a person.
Yeah.
And I really want to tell them, but I squash that in myself, and I squash that in telling somebody else, I think this person is useless at their job, let's say.
Yeah.
I don't say that to them, and then I don't say it to Mary either.
Yeah, that would be great, And then there's a thing, you can say it out of a different kind of motivation, right? Okay. If you're saying it because you feel like it would be beneficial for that person to hear it, but then it's coming out of a place of love. Yeah. You can express it. You can even show immense anger without really feeling it. I think of yelling at my kids for maybe crossing the road when a car comes. I can yell and it might sound really mean, but I don't feel it. I'm just trying to save their life in that moment, right? Yeah.
So let's say if this is a person who's useless, not doing their job, and I've talked to them about doing their job, and they still don't do it. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I've just thought, end of story, this person's useless. I don't want to, have anything to do with them. Mm-hmm. Does that mean now I'm going to experience more uselessness in my life?
Yeah, it will be, unless you apply wisdom to it. Why is it that I am experiencing this person as useless? Then you'll fix it, If you don't, then you keep cycling. We call that ignorance, right? If you think the uselessness is coming from that person, then you are cycling. Then you're on that wheel, on that hamster wheel. If you can bring wisdom to the situation, understanding that person is coming from you, from your past deeds, that's why you see them as useless, then things can shift much quicker. Yeah. So this sentence in Tibetan is the explanation of what is samsara. Okay, so we're going to go through that. We'll break it down. So say sakche. Sakche means impure. Nyerlin is taken on, and okay, gi is off. Say gi. Pungpoi. Pungpoi is heaps. Heaps. Yeah, like piles. Okay. So in Tibetan Buddhism, they say we exist out of heaps. Okay, we have 5 heaps.
Heaps is what?
Heaps, piles.
Oh,
Parts.
like regular.
Yes. So in the West, we say, this is me, Mariska. Really, I'm saying my body, that's me. This is me. In Tibetan Buddhism, they say, no. Mariska is not just this. Mariska is, do you know the heaps? Can you call it? Say it.
What are the heaps?
Heaps? Okay, no.
Heaps?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I've
Oh,
never
okay.
heard of it.
I have learned them, but I'm leaky.
Do you want
I'm leaky.
to? No, but you have to hear them a few times. I forget them too. Do you want to try?
No.
No. Okay. So it's so parts of me, according to Tibetan Buddhism, are my physical parts, yes, and then my mental parts, my awareness, right? Discrimination. And then they say all other factors. Those are the main things. You know, you form your feelings, your discrimination, and your awareness.
Wait a second.
So
Physical is form.
Physical, mental.
Yeah.
Physical is
Physical.
form.
Yeah.
What's the other?
Mental feelings.
Feelings are not mental, right? They're separate. Or
Yeah,
you're
they're
saying it's
mental.
the same.
Mental.
They consider it part of.
That's their interpretation.
And then there's discrimination.
Discrimination.
You don't need to know this right now for homework or anything.
So that's 3. Physical, mental, discrimination.
And your awareness, your consciousness, which can be divided in 6.
So these are all heaps.
Yeah, and then they say the other heap is all other factors, so everything else, that's not bad. So the point is that these heaps are impure if you're a samsaric being. So they make the distinction. Mariska is not just this, it's all these piles, all these parts combined, okay? And all these piles are impure. Which implies what? When I say all these parts are impure, implies that they can be pure. Okay? Okay, so back to this sentence. Gyun, say gyun,
Yeah.
is stream or continuum. Yakne, yakne, yangdu, yakne, yangdu is again and again. And lempa, say lempa, to take. And korwa, you know that? Korwa's samsara, yeah. Did I not write lempa? Oh, I missed it. Okay, lempa is supposed to be. Okay, that's why I didn't finish my sentence. Sorry. Yin. So say lenpa. Lenpa is to take. Ni not me. Korwa, samsara, yin it is. Okay. So we have Sakche Nyerlin Gi Pungpoi Gun Yakne Yangdu Lenpa Korwa Yin. Impure, taken on, of, heaps, stream, again and again, to take, that's what samsara it is. Tibetan is backwards. Yeah? So what would this come to? Approximate.
Cyclical birth and death, taking birth and death over and over again.
Over and over again. Yeah, they don't.
Repeats itself.
Yeah. In English, the sentence is having to take over and over again, meaning your births, right? Having to take over and over again a stream of impure parts, which were forced upon you. Having to take over and over again a stream of impure parts, which were forced upon you. So we cannot help it that we are suffering beings right now. It was forced upon us. Okay. How? The karma. Yeah. So I thought maybe it's useful to say a few things about samsara which is not true. Like some people have misconceptions of what samsara is, okay? I don't know if it's part of the class, but I think some people think that samsara, that we have a choice, that we have a choice to be where we are, what we are, something. It's not true. Might feel like that sometimes, right? Another misconception is that samsara is a place outside of yourself, which is not true either. Would be nice, because then we could just move, right? We just move away from it. We'll just move to Thailand or something.
When you say, can we go back to you have a choice? You have a choice. Are you saying that like free will? What do you mean there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just things that some people say about what they think samsara is. So some people might think that you have free will. If I feel really sick right now, I don't have a choice, you know. I cannot choose to feel good or feel bad. I cannot, right? It's forced upon me.
But you have a choice to do the work.
Yeah.
And then move away from it.
Yeah, you do have a
That's the
choice. Yeah. So say I'm feeling sick, which I'm feeling sick. I don't have a choice. I do have a choice to look at this sickness and think, okay, I know where it comes from.
But even that is like karma.
Even that is by karma. Yeah. I need to have the karma in order to be
Make
able
a
to have
choice.
that thought. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true.
But I thought karma, we had a choice. I mean, we create our own karma.
You have a choice on how you respond. Yeah, if you have the karma to feel like you can make the choice in that moment how to respond. So if Turnjit yells at me, if I have the awareness, yeah, I can make the choice not to yell back. Many people will just yell back because that's what their instinct is. Do they have a choice? They don't really have a choice because they don't have the awareness in that moment or the wisdom in that moment to choose, okay, I'm not going to yell at Turnjit. It just comes out. This is their habit, this habitual pattern. You know, someone cuts you off in traffic, you give them the finger, you know.
You would have thought that they cut you off. They didn't. They probably didn't even know you were there.
You don't know, right? Maybe they didn't.
Oh, that's Mariska. I'm going to go after her today. Find where her car is and drive in front of it.
Well, that's how we do think, right? People think that, you know. A lot of people have road rage, and they think it's all on purpose to get at them something. Yeah, but in that moment, they don't have the choice because they don't have the awareness, right? They don't have the virtue to think, okay, hold on a second. If I don't respond in kind, I'm not perpetuating the cycle, you know. That takes time. That takes time and virtue to get to a place where you can make those decisions. Okay.
So it is a choice. I mean, you eventually have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
To keep your karma going.
But you still don't have a choice on whatever comes up. You have planted the karma,
right.
But I cannot decide, okay, I know that I did this like 3 weeks ago. I've been really nice to Turnjit, so can I just have that ripen right now so I can have my nice coffee or whatever? You know, I cannot do that. Okay? So I don't have a choice. Maybe I'll feel good, maybe I won't feel good. It will depend on my past actions.
And we don't have a choice about whether we suffer or not, right?
No.
Because that's for the human condition.
Yeah. If we had a choice, we wouldn't be suffering, right? But yeah, we can make the choice to want to get out of suffering and to stop that whole cycle. And that's going to take work because it's so deeply ingrained to respond in a way that causes us to suffer more, right? So that's why we're here, to start to recognize that, start to recognize your patterns, start to look at yourself, look at that mind, see all your dark spots and, you know, fight them. Yeah.
So we don't have a choice for our past actions, but we have a choice for our future actions, right?
Yeah. You can definitely do your very best to put the things in place to create a better future. But what renunciation is to get out of the whole cycle altogether. It's not just to create a better life. I'm not going to be nice for Tangji just so other people will be nice for me, you know? It's a nice byproduct. Sure, everything will become more pleasant. People will be more kind and generous. And sure, that's fun. But it's not the goal. It's not the goal to just be more peaceful and more happy. The goal is to just get out of the whole cycle altogether and become a person that is different. Become a being that can help other people, you know, a being that's no longer concerned about themselves at all, is fully happy all the time, and is desperate to help other people in whatever way they can to get to that same place. And none of it is out of this me, you know? If I want a nice result by being nice to Turnjit, it is about me. And we want to get away from that. Okay? We want to be nice for Turnjit so we can get out of suffering. Right? Otherwise, it's a lower motivation. Yeah. Obviously, it's better than yelling back at her. But in this, you know, in these teachings, let's just go for the highest thing. Why go for something lower if we can just, you know, go all the way?
So then, when you're doing something, saying something, then your prayer should be, hope my suffering ends.
Could be.
Could be. Is that the highest prayer? Then you said, let's go for the highest prayer. Oh, sorry.
The traffic sign.
So let's say I allow Mariska some popcorn. So my prayer should be, I give you this popcorn. Can I please end my suffering?
Sure.
That's my highest prayer.
Yeah, if you want to end the suffering completely, put other people in there too to power it up even more, so you can be of help to other people, right? Because when you are completely out of suffering, we call that nirvana. If I have no more mental afflictions, we're nirvana. It's not quite Buddhahood. Nirvana is very nice.
Are you a bodhicitta then?
Bodhicitta is what we want. Yes. So bodhicitta is the wish for other people too to be out of suffering. So if you say, okay, I want to get out of suffering, so I can help everybody else to get out of suffering too, that would be higher, right? We want to incorporate other beings in that wish. Yeah.
Mariska, I mean, from my understanding is that, when you were saying, oh, we don't want to just help someone to help ourselves.
Yeah.
That is what we need to do to get enough merit.
It totally is, and you should,
emptiness.
and you should help.
Yeah.
You should help.
So it's not to say we don't do that.
Not at all.
We're doing that maybe for that intention of seeing emptiness.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to. We have to do a whole lot of virtue. We have to help. We have to be nice for Tanjit. We all have to be nice for Tanjit,
We'll be nice. That's all we
We have to help everyone around us. We need to collect so much virtue, which we need to have realizations. Yeah.
But if our motivation is like, I use Mother Teresa as an example. Her life was she was bodhicitta, and her motivation wasn't to feel good about herself.
No.
It was to help them.
Yeah.
So that way she can become a Buddhahood or Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise she couldn't, because if it was all for her to feel good, then right.
Yeah. I think that's very true. And then it's just a nice byproduct. When you are serving other people all the time, it just makes you feel good. It feels good to help people, right?
Mm-hmm. It just feels natural. Right?
Yeah. Those moments where you're not concerned about yourself at all, like, that's freedom.
Mm.
That's freedom. Yeah. The moment where you start to worry about me, that's where you suffer. Yeah. If you completely give to someone without any tiny little bit of wanting something yourself, it's the best feeling, right? Okay, we should really get on with the class now. I mean, it's all part of the class, so it's good. But I do need to get a few ideas in. Okay. So what keeps you in samsara? Two things. Le Nyun Gi Ching. Okay, so Le is karma.
Is karma?
Yeah. And Nyun is bad thought. Like jealousy, anger, ignorance. Okay? So what it means, actually I'm not sure what Ching means. Gi is by, karma. What it means is you're being chained in samsara by your bad thoughts and karma. Okay. Karma and bad thoughts, the result of ignorance. So what perpetuates your existence in this state of existence, samsara, is karma and bad thoughts. So by not yelling back at Taranjit, this is when I am working on removing my bad thoughts, right? And they all have to go. You cannot be a Buddha and have bad thoughts. Cannot. So all of your afflictions have to go. And we all have them, you know, unless you're already a Buddha. We all have our special flavor. All have our special affliction, you know. Some people have lots of jealousy. Other people, lots of pride. People have anger issues. We all have a big mix, but then we often have like one specialty, right? So you gotta find your specialty and you gotta punch that sucker in the face. And you have to go to a dark place. You have to face it, you know? You have to be honest with yourself. And it's not pretty. But how are you ever going to be happy if you don't get rid of it, you know? And first step is to recognize that you have it. And, you know, when you start to meditate and cultivating some more quietude, that's when all those things will show itself often, right? When you start to see what's happening in your mind, when you start to take the time to see what comes up, you should be able to figure out what is your thing, and then you become more aware during the day, and you just notice what your mind is, you know, doing, watching how you judge people. I know, whatever it is, everyone does their own thing, right? But we gotta let go of that, and we gotta put spoke in the wheel. Sorry, a stick in the spoke. Yeah, so the object of renunciation is to be tired of spinning in that cycle, okay? You're tired of your heaps, tired of your body and mind as they exist today. If you don't understand what samsara is, it'll be hard to have compassion. Okay? If you don't know what you're trying to give up, you cannot feel bodhicitta. You cannot feel the wish for other people to get out of it too, okay? If you don't even know what it is you want to get out of. So there is not one atom of those 5 heaps that in yourself and in other people that are not suffering, according to Buddhism.
Say that again.
There's not one atom of your 5 heaps and other people's 5 heaps that is not suffering. And bodhicitta is not about wanting to give temporary comfort, although, like Hogan pointed out, we absolutely have to do that. We have to give temporary shelter to beings. But we want to relieve suffering completely, right? We want them to get out of suffering. So, in the reading, there is a way written, and I didn't have time to look it up before class, but there's 2 meditations that are listed to eliminate our desires. And one of them is to realize the difficulty of finding this life of leisure and fortune. Okay.
Say that again.
The difficulty of finding the life of leisure and fortune.
Is that a quote?
No. I'll explain. So it's a meditation you can do to remove the desire for this life, and there's a meditation you can do to remove the desire for your next life. So desire is what keeps you suffering, right? Because we want things, and because of that, we act ignorantly, and we keep spinning. Okay, so it's hard to find the leisure of fortune that we have in this life, because you need to be born as a human being. You need to have the eyes and the ears to hear things like Dharma teachings. You need to be intelligent. You need to be able to distinguish between good and bad. And we need to respond to these instincts, like responding anger with anger. So we want to contemplate how lucky we are to live this life of leisure and fortune. That's a very important step towards renunciation. The second part of it is that we don't know when it will end, our life of leisure and fortune. It can end just like that, right? And the West is kind of weird about it. We're not really embracing death in our society, right? Like other cultures, they're big on that. We're not so much. But if we have a good understanding of it, everything can switch just in a second. We don't know when. We don't know what our karma is going to bring us in the next moment, right? We can die tomorrow, or we can end up in a wheelchair tomorrow. So those things combined, realizing your leisure and fortune, realizing that you don't know how long you have, should give you the motivation to put in the work while you can, while your mind still works, while your body still functions, okay? And it can be many more years that you can do this, or it can all be done tomorrow. We don't know, okay? There's, lots of writers, authors of the Tengir that are not stories that are not finished because the authors just died midway through. Happens. Happens. People die all the time. In different cultures, it's very. I was traveling in Indonesia. I think it's called the Toraja or something, and they were embracing death. It was like it was a tourist attraction. It was weird. They had like huge cow horns, or were they cows? No, could not have been. But big horns. They would put them on their bungalows every time someone in their family died, and the more of those horns you had, the bigger status you had. It was something I've never seen. And then my husband and I ended up being like the special guests of honor of the death party of an old man that I never met, and we had to sit with the family on this tiny little bamboo deck beside the dead body, and they're having a huge party. And it's like something so different than here, right? And they would slaughter a pig in front of us, and we all got to eat that out of bamboo things. All the hairs of the pig were on it, and we were like the guests of honor. It was like a big thing, and that happens all the time there. It's just like normal, right? Here, it's not like that. Not at all. And it was quite beautiful because it reminds you that death is normal and it can happen, anytime. So there's a list of some ways how you can think that we are fortunate. I believe they're in the reading. I'll read them. So we are born as a human. We're born in a land where people have morality. We are born with all our faculties intact. Okay, we can hear and see teachers. We have not committed any of the heinous misdeeds, which are what? Hogan, you must know those.
All 10.
5. Heinous misdeeds. You remember?
Unless it's part of the 10 do not do's, but
No.
I didn't remember
Okay.
5.
Tanjeet?
I'm gonna say killing and lying.
Yeah, no, it's killing. It's killing your mother. Yeah,
Killing your mother
see,
and
you
your
do
father.
remember.
The teacher.
What's that?
You don't draw blood from your teacher. You don't have to know these right now. But there's like 5 big bad deeds you can do that guarantee you a hell rebirth as soon as you die, right? So that's like killing your mother, killing your father, drawing blood from a Buddha, creating a schism in the Sangha. Yeah.
Say that again.
What was that?
Dividing the Sangha, dividing the group of monks, or in this case, this is our Sangha, these are our people, so it would be, if we would start spreading some rumors and separating it, which might result into people not coming back, which can result into them not becoming a Buddha anytime soon, because, so it's a very, very bad deed.
Another one.
Drawing blood from a Buddha, killing mother, killing father. We're missing one. Arhat, there was one with an Arhat. Killing an Arhat, yeah.
Killing.
Arhat. Arhat is a being who has reached nirvana. Yeah. Okay, but it's not part of this class. Other course, we'll get into that. The point is, you have not committed any of those, therefore you are living this fortunate life, right? In which you can practice to become a Buddha. The next one is you have faith in teachings. So those relate to yourself. Then there's another few that relate to others or the outside world. So we live in a world where the Buddha has come. We live in a world where the teachings have been spoken. And these spoken teachings have not gotten lost. People still practice them. And people who practice can enjoy support that they need. So the point is that you are aware how precious this opportunity is, how precious your time is, okay? And that you don't waste it. That is the main thing, okay? Don't worry too much about the list. Just get the main point. Your time is precious.
Somebody once said to me, this isn't a dress rehearsal, and putting aside karma and everything.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, that's such an interesting idea, because sometimes we act as if it is.
We really do. We really do. Yeah. And sometimes someone dies around us, and that reminds us, oh yeah, indeed. And then for the next few days or weeks, maybe a couple months, we'll see life as precious. But then that kind of dwindles off again, and then we get back into our old habits. So how can you keep that motivation going, It's by meditating on this kind of stuff, by reminding yourself that, because it is really easy to see life as a dress rehearsal. Yeah. So yeah, everything will collapse at some point. We don't know when. So let's take 5-minute break, and then we go into our last bit of the class. So there's lots of snacks. Help yourself.
Yeah, this is the very first class of the ACI. And yes, you're in the right first class. It's the very first, that's the third of
Watching the class.
Mhm.
Fourth.
Yeah, that's what.
what's the third session of the first class.
On the street.
Yeah.
It's model.
It's the 5th class. This is the 5th class.
Yeah, I thought it was the
It's
first.
which
Yeah,
one,
that's
the
where it's
fifth?
book.
Oh, whoops, I didn't hear.
Yeah, it says class
It
5.
keeps
I thought it was coming to the first.
Class 5.
But it's a first
Do
course,
that.
so it's a good course to
Yeah,
come
it's the
to.
first.
It's okay. You can, if you want to watch the other
Reflections.
classes of this course, it's on YouTube. You can watch them. Um,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was curious about your sheets. Where'd you get these sheets?
What's the name of the website?
the knowledge base.
Knowledge base.
In the Asian classics.
And that's where you got these handouts?
So there's course materials, Georgina. So if you like, you can download them. You
Okay.
can get them printed, or you can just look on it online. And every course, every class has a reading. Every class has homework. Every class has a quiz. Every course has a final exam.
Oh,
Only if you want to
it's easier, man.
So
I was
I
coming
don't
for
do
the
it.
C Mariska.
and you don't have to do it.
Oh, I see.
It's not. It's optional.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can just come and listen, and maybe at some point you feel like you want to do it.
Right.
It's helpful because it allows you to think about it some more when you read the readings and when you do the homework. So it gets a little bit deeper. But since this is your first class attending, don't feel that you should. Just, Hogan has come to a whole course before too without doing anything, and then he felt inspired to do it, and now he's on fire. He gives me so much homework I can't even keep up marking it.
Oh.
But but it's not. It's optional.
I didn't do
But
it.
what I find is helpful
Oh,
with
come on,
homework
Mason.
is
Yeah, you can
helps
go.
me figure out what to
Go
focus
for
on.
it. Don't wait with me.
It gives you the main points, right, that are most important, because it can
Otherwise
be
you
a lot of
kind of feel-
information. Yeah. Did you hear that, Georgina?
No.
Val
I
says.
found doing the homework helps me figure out what are
Focus
the
on.
key points to focus
Yeah.
on.
That's what I was
take
thinking.
away.
Yeah.
Otherwise I feel
When I was writing, I was thinking, oh, do I need this for my homework? It's like, well, should I write this down?
It can be a lot of information, right, to absorb.
Glad we got snacks. Or you got snacks.
Yeah, lots, yeah. Happy stuff.
Thank you.
Gina and I used to joke, I mean, we still do. We want to be zapped by the white light.
Yeah.
We
What's
used
that?
to zapped by, I don't know how that came up, George, but something, we were like, how about leaving samsara? But our way of saying it was, oh, we're just going to get zapped like in Star Trek, and then we get zapped, and then we're out of here.
Wouldn't that be
Whenever I
nice?
In Nirvana.
Whenever I go for a retreat, he says, oh, were you zapped?
Oh, no, when it was really bad, I said, oh, don't you wish you were just zapped by the white light and just taken away?
Just like that.
Yeah.
But, I do want to interrupt because, I could go on and on throughout the whole class. But one of the things that came up for me when you were saying this is that I could see being able to do this if you don't deal with people. If you have no people in your life, there's no problem.
That's not necessarily true.
No, and then something else will come up to give you the same lessons. Yeah, like it would be a dog that comes up and bites you, or it would be something else.
Or you would just remember back to the awful argument you had with your mother-in-law.
And as a person too.
I
How
find
was it thought
the
though?
more
She's
the less I deal
She's
with
long
people,
gone.
the more peaceful I am.
Right.
So
The more what I'm saying.
the less I deal with people, the more peaceful I am. And so I think of the monks and that lifestyle, which I lean to, and I think, oh, that's how they do it. They don't deal with people.
But it's not really true. For one, in the big monastery, there's thousands of monks, so they deal with each other,
Right, but in a
and they
very
each have all their stuff, right? Also, like you cannot escape your mind. So when you feel triggered by people, and people are letting you be for a bit, you feel more peaceful. At some point, you're gonna get triggered again, because it's your karma. You cannot run away from your karma, and that might come into the form as someone you're working with or whatever, or it can come in the form, like Serena just said, it can be in the form of being annoyed by the way the curtain hangs. I don't know,
Or
something
you
silly.
might feel jealous that someone's better meditator or gets more attention than
Right.
a teacher.
I mean, yeah, it's true. It will come to you in a different kind of story, but you cannot escape your karma.
It seems so much easier. Like, I could see an animal. My cat, I can't really get. You see them as innocent. You see them as pure. You see things. Nature is innocent and pure. But with people is where we have our issues, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Okay, so let's
Okay. Next, sorry. Pass.
So the last part of the class is quoted directly from a verse of Nagarjuna, giving advice to a king in the 1700s. Okay, so this is important. I'd like you to write this down and make that a focus of your week, if you can, by checking in what's happening for you. So these are called the 8 worldly thoughts, the 8 worldly dharmas. Okay? And I'll first tell them, and then we'll talk about it. We won't go into it for very long because the class is coming to an end. But so these are the ones. So in Tibetan, you don't have to worry about the Tibetan either. I want you to know it in English. But in Tibetan, for fun, it's Ni, Dang, Mani. So Ni is getting something. Dang is and. All of these would be and not getting something. Ma in Tibetan is like a negative particle. Okay, so you get something, you don't get something. The next one is de dang, mi de. Feeling good, not feeling good. Nyen dang, mi nyen. Being well known and not being well known. And then the last one, tu, dang, me too, is saying something good to you or nice to you and not saying something nice. So, getting something, not getting something. Feeling good, not feeling good. Being well known, famous, not well known. Receiving praise, not receiving praise. And then the last one, having, oh no, that was the last one.
What's the last
Right? Did I say
Saying
them all?
something
No,
nice
that
to
was
you
4.
and not saying. Well, these are pairs, right?
They're pairs. They're pairs.
Yeah.
So you said there are 8 worldly
Yeah.
thoughts or dharmas, and we've got 4 so far.
Do we?
No.
No, they're pairs. So
Each one is 2.
Yeah.
Oh, each one is 2.
Yeah.
So, can you come with that?
Yes. Getting something
We were doing
and not
2
doing
for
something.
1.
Feeling good
Yeah.
and not feeling good. Being well known or famous and not being well known or famous. Receiving praise and not receiving praise.
Thank you.
So these are things that occur to us every day, and we cannot control that. Okay. What happens is when I don't get something I want, my reaction could be negative because I want it, okay? And being ignorant about that, okay? Which keeps me cycling. When I get something I do want, it boosts my me and it keeps me cycling because it's ignorant, okay? Does that make sense? All of these are trouble. They give us so much trouble because it's all about me, okay? When I feel good, I'm happy. When I don't feel good, I'm not happy, you know? We think these things are happening to us separate from our karma. We think they happen because they happen. We think I didn't get what I want because that jerk didn't give it to me, you know? That's how we think. We think we didn't get something because of this or that. We don't think I didn't get it because I didn't have my causes, conditions in place. We don't think that, right? So we continuously blaming the outside world, outside people for our unhappiness. So write these ones down and watch your mind with these, okay? Somebody saying something nice to you or about you. See what it does to you. Does that give you a boost? Does that think you are so great? Yeah? Just watch, because it's trouble. I tell you, it's trouble. It's so much trouble. It keeps us cycling. Okay? If we can have all these things happen to us, which will happen, but if we can look at it a different way and understand that it is by my karma, I'm forced to perceive it like this by my karma. So I'll give you an example. I'm teaching Friday night yin class in this studio. The yin class wasn't doing so well before I took it over. Now, the last 2 classes, this place was packed. Cannot put another person in there. Okay? 20 people with all the posters and things. Feels good, right? Now this can be like, oh, this is good. Look at me. I built this class. People are coming here for me. Right? Can feel really good. But it is causes and conditions. It's not because I'm so good. Somehow, I've put the causes in place to have, had a couple weeks of a full class. Tonight, maybe there'll be 5. I don't know. Okay? So, if I get attached to, yes, I'm so great, I have 20 people come, this is trouble. It will keep me cycling, okay, because it's ignorant, because I'm thinking about it in a wrong way, If I want to think it in a right way, maybe I can think, okay, so there's a lot of people coming. One of the reasons, for instance, could be is that I'm organizing workshops for Open Door. So I'm continuously trying really hard to get people to go to other people's classes. And I feel upset when I have to cancel a workshop because only one person signed up. Okay, and I'm trying to promote it as best as I can by telling people, by doing all the steps I need to do as part of my job. But mostly because I want to see them succeed. I'd like it when they come back and say, wow, I had 25 people come. It was such a great workshop. It gives me great joy. So maybe that could be a cause for why I could see 20 people in my class, okay? Now, maybe tonight there will be 5 people, which also is not a reason for me to think I'm such a bad teacher. Nobody's coming. See, there's only 5 people. For me, maybe I just shouldn't teach, or right? That's ignorant too. That's wrong view. The reason why nobody's there isn't because there was a Whitecaps game and everyone's at the game. No, it's because somehow the causes and conditions are not in place for people to be there. You know, maybe I don't know what I would have done to not receive many people. It would probably have something to do with some kind of, I don't know, an affliction, but it doesn't even have to be. I mean, you can have 5 people come to your class and it could be the best class ever, and you could see them getting out of it exactly what you were hoping for or something, right? So nothing's like black or white. But I'm just trying to say how you can use a situation to boost that me, to boost that ego, or you can try to step away from it, not attach yourself, see what, you know, it's just there because of causes and conditions, and it could change any time. I don't know. I have no control about that. Okay. All I can do is just show up and do my best, and then do my best in the rest of my life in other areas, supporting other people, supporting other classes, organizing the workshops, you know. Because this me can never be happy. This me that feels like, oh, yeah, can never be happy. That me has to go. That's the me we have to kill, you know. Cannot be happy. You know, this me that when I went in retreat a couple years ago, I'm in this building and there's people talking, and I have this feeling come up like, guys, don't you guys know that I'm meditating here? You know? And in retreat you can see it very clearly because there's nothing else to do, so you're stuck with your own mind. So then something like that feels like this massive monster, right? But that is that me that we cherish so much. We feel so important, and it's trouble.
So a lot of these have to do with the ego.
Yeah, and the ego is keeping you cycling because the ego loves that attention, and the ego loves to not be responsible, loves to blame other people, loves to, you know, yeah. So it's that grasping to the self, you know, which we can call ego.
Do the Buddhists think that the ego is fake, like it's false?
False in the sense of it is empty. It is a projection, which we can completely shift, and you can have a very different experience of this me. Yeah, like once you get rid of all your afflictions, what's left is still some kind of me, but the me is no longer concerned about me. Yeah, it's just concerned about other people, but they're still
And I think one of the things that's interesting is that they're embedded in this is that cycling, because I think, you know, if you're famous, you want to be more famous.
Yeah, it's
or
never
you get
good enough.
Yeah, you want more and more praise.
Always want more. Yeah. If you have 20 people in your class, you're going to strive for 21 for next week, right? It's never enough. Can never be satisfied. There's no happiness in that me. No way. So that is your homework for everyone, okay? To think about these 8 and to just watch your mind when someone's saying something nice to you. Just watch. When you didn't get something you want this week, what happens? You know? When you're feeling sick, or, yeah. All of those things. Watch your mind. And then can we stop that cycle? So they're gonna happen, and the point is not to be upset by them. So don't be attached to either the positive or the negative, okay? And So it's about awareness, right?
Sometimes just having a comfortable samsara helps you to realize.
Say that again.
Sometimes like a comfortable samsara helps you to realize these things.
What do you mean by that? I mean, comfortable in the sense that when you're not feeling sick, when you're healthy, your mind is clear.
If I'm not hungry, then I can think about
Yeah,
these
yeah,
things.
sure. Yeah, sure.
So that is a comfortable samsara.
Yeah, but it's still samsara, and that's not gonna last. You're gonna, before you know it, have that headache or feel overwhelmed or whatnot, right? So in Buddhism, they often give this beautiful example of, you're licking honey off of a razor. So at first it just is beautiful flavor, and then you hit the knife part. You cut your tongue. So it's like that. Okay, so yeah, it will be beautiful for a second, but it turns into pain, right? One way or the other. Yeah, it won't last. So yes, those clear moments, we need them in order to put in our work and to meditate and to contemplate, definitely. But it's not a goal to want to stay in samsara, because there will never be true happiness there. Because it'll be up and down, high and low,
I'm out of here.
Hey?
I'm leaving. I'm
Can
good.
I ask, or I can ask you after your time?
Yeah, the class is finished, so let's just close up, and then you can definitely ask me questions after. So we end with a prayer. So we'll do it again. We'll read it in Tibetan, then read it in English, and that's the offering of the mandala. And then after that one is the dedication of the goodness of a deed. So in both cases, we'll read them in Tibetan and then read them in English. Okay. So don't worry too much about. We're doing this little hand mudra, Georgina. So we'll just don't worry about this right now. You can just because you're making an offering. Okay. So we'll get to that next week. Sashi Puki Jukshin Meto Trana Rira Lingshi Yande Genpali Sange Shingdu Mikde Drokun Namdak Shima Chukoshu Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Nirtayami. Here is the great earth, filled with the smell of incense, covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountains, the four continents, wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise for Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Guru Ratna Mandalakam Nirtayami. So then we do the dedication. Ngewadi Kewoku Sunam Yeshe Zokzokshin Sunam Yeshe Lejunwe Dampa Kuni Toposhuk. By the goodness of what I have just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom made. So we end the class by prostrating, and you don't have to prostrate if you don't feel comfortable with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.